every single farm is different. It's different because we grow different crops, but the farms are also different depending on the culture, the location of where that farm is, and the history of that farm. Essential oils, there was not a lot of consumer. The perfume industry wants the same smell year after year, and they want the lowest price possible. And so for my father that really wanted to work and research quality essential oil and aromatherapy, there was not a lot of options. And my father thought, okay, there's a lot of research in France on aromatherapy, but nobody using it. Maybe I should go in the US and see if people are more aware and more interested in quality essential oil. And my father was able to go to the US because he spoke English. My mother is American, this is why I speak like this. He went to a health expo in Pasadena, brought some of his lavender with him, and there on site there was not a lot of people interested, but there was one booth that said aromatherapy, and the words of my father are, and there was a cowboy standing there. And the cowboy, for those who don't realize, is Gary Young. And this was before Gary had started Young Living. But he was already very passionate about essential oils and what they could do. So when my father brought the lavender that he wanted to make, and Gary smelled it, it was actually perfect for Gary. Because at that time, Gary really wanted to go to France. Like I said, there was still a lot of research here in France. A lot of doctors were researching how to use essential oil. And also, there was a lot of technology in France. A lot of the technology on distillation, a lot of the knowledge on lavender and cultivating lavender was here in the south of France. So Gary really wanted to come and visit and learn and meet a lot of people. So a few months after meeting in the US, Gary actually came to our house. And I remember very well because I was 6 months old at the time. But Gary, for this first time, came and met a lot of the farmers, wanted to measure all the distillery, wanted to understand what everyone was doing. Lavender had been, part of the south of France culture and history for a long time. So a lot of the farmers Gary was meeting were second or third generation of lavender growers. And so it was perfect for him. But also, the farmers didn't realize what meeting Gary would actually bring them later down the road. After that, Gary would actually come multiple times a year here in the south of France, and he created more and more friendship with the farmers. Brought seeds from wild lavender here in France back to St. Mary's, built his first distillery. Young Living, that finally became a company and started growing quite well, needed to have also farms around the world. And so my father and Gary agreed that they should open the first international Young Living farm here in the south of France. But the idea was never to start our own farm and move away from all of the farmers, their knowledge, and the multi-generational work. So the idea was, let's buy a little farm so that we can do research, so that we can grow and understand a lot of different aspects and better seed to seal. But let's keep working with all of the farmers in this region.
大家分享这些，就是想让他知道，我们的这个农场呢，其实是跟历史非常的紧密结合在一起的。Gary 跟这边这么多农民非常紧密深厚的友谊，所以法国农场的运作方式跟其他的优乐芳农场其实是不太一样的。
We actually are partnered with 50 different farmers. And it's very important because this partnership makes us much stronger. Because we can grow in a wide area in different elevation with little changes in weather. We do research together. And very importantly, we help each other all the time. To plant a field, we need 4 people. Here in France, labor is not a thing that exists.
法国人是非常不喜欢工作的。
You cannot hire people to work in the fields. 3 farmers will come and help me plant the fields and plant this whole field, and then I will go and help them plant their field. We are a big but very close community, and this is why we can continue to operate in this area. But owning our own farm is very important because this farm is 50 acres, and the lavender in the south of France for Young Living at the maximum was close to 10,000 acres.
你用这个比例来看，你会觉得，这个非常的小。
But this small farm allows us to do so much research, to comprehend so many things, and to better our essential oil all of the time, which is part of seed to seal and very, very important. So now you understand the history. So we need to talk a little bit about the farm itself. In the south of France, we mostly grow plants that are local from this area, that are everywhere around the farm. You will find wild lavender growing on its own. We grow everything that you can find in the wild around the farm. Here on this farm, we do not have any irrigation, and all of the farmers here have no irrigation. We rely on rain, which is complicated sometimes. But if we grow plants that are from here, used to this weather and growing on their own, normally we can work with nature. So we are able to grow local plants. This way we don't need to work against nature. And having our own farm also means we get to do research to try and manage certain problems that we may have.
So if you take a closer look to a normal lavender field, which is only lavender, and then you look in the forest over there, 很多物种，很多种。Not only lavender, you still have others.
Yes. For at this altitude, which is 600 meters of elevation, this is the lowest altitude that we can grow lavender. Everywhere around the farm, there is lavender, and it's growing really well. So the question is why? Diversity, basically. Actually, the trees are going to provide wind shield, it's going to provide shade, it's going to act like a water pump to put moisture on top of the soil. It's also all the biodiversity that is around, such as the birds, the insects, the worms, the diversity in the soil. A few years of research, we found something that was called agroforestry, basically to mix the crops that we want to grow with trees.
他们就是种2排牛至，种扁豆、芥末，然后胡小麦种在这个中间，然后彼此之间不会有水分的竞争。
And the idea is, before the season, before it gets really hot, we crush the cover crop and we put it back in the soil. So the pattern in this field, as you could see, there is olive trees, almond trees, oregano, and lavender. Every 9 rows of aromatic plants, we have 1 row of trees. This is pretty unusual for this area. But the thing is here, we can afford the cost of making trials like this one. And the farmers that doesn't do this yet, they can come, have a look on what we do, and apply it to their farms. Because it's beautiful to have a mix of everything and to say that you have biodiversity and stuff, but we want to be backed up by the science. This is why we do not only do our own research, but we work as well with governmental agencies, such as Agribio or Agricultural Chamber of France. Over there is a small black pieces of equipment in the field over there. This is sensors that we put in the soil at different places. These sensors are called tensiometers. These sensors, they allow us to understand what we want to put in evidence is, do we have more humidity with the trees or without the trees? Of course, I do have already my answer, but I want to make sure that it's working, you know? So with the sensors closer to the tree lines, it appears that we have 3 times more humidity than the sensors that are in the middle of the 9 rows. What is really interesting also is even in the rows that are in the middle of the tree lines, we have 1.5 times more humidity than in a classic field. Meaning that this whole agroforestry system is really beneficial for the crops.
So part of your time here is going to be understanding all of those facets of seed to seal. There's always in mind the quality of the oil, but the impact that we have on nature, the impact that we have on people is always a part of seed to seal. For the quality of the oil, I'll give you a very straightforward example. The time at which we harvest the plant will change the essential oil a lot. We have spent many years researching what is the best time to harvest to have a quality essential oil. So if you ask yourself today, why are the fields harvested and where is the lavender? I will answer, because it was ready. As soon as it's ready, we harvest and we distill. Don't worry, you will see a lot of lavender fields. Not because the purple is gone, that there's not work and things that you can do with us today.
4年前呢，有一群这个生物学家研究这个关于这植物的授粉的，他们也来到这个农田来做研究。
The overall idea of this study was to show that in a field like this one, which contains a lot of diversity in terms of plants and trees, that we would have more wild pollinators than in a normal field. So after 4 years of coming every summer in France, collected all the insects that they could, and in this field, they've collected more than 150 different types of wild pollinators. Whether in a classic, normal lavender field, that would be less than 50 different wild pollinators. This study right now, because it's been 5 years now, 4.5 years, it's under a process of being published. Researchers, as well as Young Living, you could find out the results of this study.